Hey Broncos fans, welcome to Broncos News Now, your channel for everything Denver Broncos. Before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any hot NFL news. Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix is fast becoming one of the most electrifying and reliable clutch performers in the National Football League this season. A transformation that has been both remarkable and pivotal for a team that has turned its late-game struggles into one of the most formidable winning streaks in modern Broncos history. With the Broncos riding an astonishing 9-game winning streak, a substantial number of those victories have come in high-pressure situations, requiring either a fourth-quarter comeback or a game that went down to the wire. The Broncos' record of 8-2 in one-score games this year is a dramatic reversal from their 1-6 performance in such contests just last season, and Nix's composed, almost serene demeanor under pressure has become a central reason for this resurgence, allowing Denver to convert tense, nail-biting moments into definitive triumphs. Observers and fans alike have marveled at the quarterback's ability to remain unfazed when the stakes are at their highest, and his mental approach has become a talking point not just in Denver, but across the league. It was on Sunday night in a thrilling 27-26 overtime victory over the Washington Commanders that Nix once again showcased why he has earned a reputation as a fourth-quarter savant. The Broncos' defense, typically resolute, allowed Marcus Mariota and his teammates to engineer late-game drives, pushing the contest into overtime and placing the onus squarely on Nix to deliver. When Washington deferred on the coin toss, choosing to kick off in overtime, Nix methodically orchestrated a scoring drive that culminated in a touchdown, proving once more that his ability to perform under duress is not just talent, but a cultivated mindset. Following the game, Nix shed light on the philosophy that underpins his late-game heroics. He revealed that a long-standing lesson from his many offensive coaches had framed his approach. That pressure is not a burden, but a privilege, a unique opportunity that few in the sport ever get to experience. If it's going to be me who gets this opportunity, I am going to make the best of it, Nix explained, a sentiment that speaks volumes about his mental fortitude and the intentionality behind his poise in critical moments. This pressure is a privilege. Mindset is not merely motivational jargon. It represents a fundamental rewiring of thought that allows an athlete to embrace the intensity of the moment, rather than be consumed by it. For a young NFL quarterback, particularly one like Nix who experienced the sting of multiple one-score losses as a rookie, this perspective is transformative. The contrast between his struggles last year and his current performance underscores a developmental leap, suggesting that Nix has internalized the lessons of adversity and learned how to channel them into success. It doesn't always go your way. Fortunately for us, it's gone our way in these games, he noted, reflecting on the bitter experiences of the previous season and how they have shaped his present approach. The ability to remain resilient, to process past disappointments without being paralyzed by them, and to maintain a belief in eventual triumph has become a defining characteristic of Nix's leadership and execution on the field. No performance illustrates Nix's clutch capabilities more vividly than the Broncos' historic Week 7 comeback against the New York Giants, a game that has already been etched into NFL lore. In an unprecedented display, Nix accounted for 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone, passing for 2 scores and rushing for 2 more, a feat never before achieved in league history. The Broncos erupted for 33 points in the final quarter, leaving fans streaming out of Empower Field at Mile High simultaneously stunned and elated, a collective witness to a masterclass in quarterback resilience and creativity. While this season has seen Nix deliver numerous clutch performances, it is also important to remember that early in the campaign, Denver faltered in back-to-back one-score games during Weeks 2 and 3. These losses, however, became invaluable learning experiences, reinforcing the importance of composure and preparation and ultimately fueling one of the most remarkable winning streaks in franchise history. Nix's reflections on these moments convey a philosophy grounded in execution and mental clarity. It didn't look great there for a minute, but we just found a way to make the next best play. At the end of the day, we scored 1 more point than they did, and that's the difference in a game in this league. Every game comes down to the last possession, pretty much. You just have to kind of accept the fact, and just put yourself in that moment. It doesn't change anything. You just go out there and execute. The impact of this streak on the Broncos cannot be overstated. Each closely contested game has created a playoff-like environment, conditioning the team to perform under the highest stress and further solidifying the cohesion between Nix and his teammates. Every comeback, every nail-biter, is a microcosm of postseason intensity, and Denver has thrived in this crucible, using it as a proving ground for both confidence and chemistry. Nix recognizes the significance of these experiences, viewing them as essential preparation for the challenges yet to come. I think just playing in these close games is practice, and it helps. And I know we haven't, but I feel like we've seen any game possible, all the outcomes, but I know there's going to be many more, he remarked, acknowledging both the breadth of experiences gained and the ongoing journey ahead. Along the way, the Broncos have dismantled 2 of last February's Super Bowl participants. Yet skepticism remains among some national analysts who still measure success by blowout margins rather than the precision of close-game victories. Even so, the growing recognition of Denver's capabilities is impossible to ignore. Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy, during a Sunday Night Football broadcast, offered high praise for Nix and the Broncos, drawing a parallel between Nix's clutch instincts and those of Patrick Mahomes during his early years in Kansas City. They're the best in the AFC right now. Outstanding defense, and they're clutch on offense, Dungy commented. The defense feels like all they have to do is keep it close, and Bo Nix will win it for us. They used to say that about Mahomes in Kansas City. Such comparisons, while lofty, are indicative of the respect Nix has earned for his poise, decision-making, and ability to thrive when the game hangs in the balance. The Broncos' current formula is deceptively simple but effective. Rely on a stout defensive unit to keep contests tight and trust Nix to navigate the offense through high-pressure situations. While the inherent unpredictability of football means outcomes are never guaranteed, this strategy has served Denver remarkably well, allowing the team to maintain a stranglehold on the AFC West and position itself as a contender for the top playoff seed in the conference with 5 games remaining. The blend of defensive resilience, offensive ingenuity, and mental toughness has transformed the Broncos into a team capable of thriving in situations where lesser squads might falter. Nix embodies the fusion of talent, preparation, and mindset necessary to convert pressure into opportunity, demonstrating week after week why clutch performances are as much about mental mastery as physical skill. Ultimately, Bo Nix's ascent as a fourth-quarter closer is a story of adaptation, resilience, and a commitment to turning high-pressure situations into defining moments. From early career struggles in one-score games to his current mastery of late-game execution, Nix has leveraged experience, coaching wisdom, and an unwavering belief in his abilities to cultivate a rare and invaluable skill set. The Broncos' continued success, their string of narrow victories, and the sense of invincibility that comes from repeatedly prevailing when it matters most, all trace back to Nix's ability to embrace pressure as a privilege. As Denver looks toward the remainder of the season and the looming challenges of the postseason, the quarterback's clutch-time heroics provide not just hope, but a blueprint for success in the most intense moments football has to offer. Unquestionably, Bo Nix has become more than a quarterback. He has become the embodiment of a team's belief in itself under fire, the linchpin of a squad learning to thrive in the crucible of competition, and the player fans will look to when the game is on the line, time and time again. The story of this Broncos team, driven by a quarterback who has redefined what it means to excel in pressure situations, is still being written, but the chapters penned thus far are filled with courage, poise, and the electrifying thrill of seeing opportunities seized when it matters most. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk Broncos. And don't forget to hit the bell to get all the latest NFL updates. Hold on to your seats, because the NFL world is buzzing with what might be the shocker of the season. Rumors have been swirling for days, whispers echoing through locker rooms, agents' offices, and social media threads, and now it's finally confirmed by ESPN. 2 absolute stars, Jordan Love and Myles Garrett, have officially signed with the Denver Broncos. Yes, you heard that right. The Broncos, a team known for its passionate fan base and storied history, is making waves that could completely redefine the landscape of the league. The mere mention of these two names together has fans across the country holding their breath, speculating on what this could mean for a franchise that has been searching for stability, talent, and a spark of excitement for years. The sense of anticipation, almost tangible in its intensity, has reached levels that even seasoned NFL analysts are struggling to contain. People are not just talking about a trade or a minor acquisition. We're talking about a seismic shift in team dynamics, a potential game-changer that could rewrite narratives around the Broncos' strategy, roster, and future ambitions. Imagine the implications here. Jordan Love, a quarterback whose career has been a subject of intrigue, controversy, and curiosity, now landing in Denver. Love has always had the physical tools, arm strength, mobility, and vision that could rival some of the top-tier quarterbacks in the league, but has often been criticized for inconsistency and a lack of opportunity to truly shine. Many analysts have suggested that Love needed the right system, a coaching staff willing to take a risk, and a receiving core capable of translating his raw talent into tangible results. Denver, it seems, is ready to provide exactly that. Pairing him with a team hungry for a resurgence, with a stadium ready to erupt at the sight of a young, promising quarterback taking command, could be the perfect storm. Rumors suggest that Love's presence alone is enough to attract further interest from free agents who might have been hesitant to join the Broncos in previous seasons. This is not just a signing. It is a statement of intent, a clear message to the rest of the NFL that Denver is no longer content with mediocrity or cautious play. And then there's Myles Garrett, a defensive force whose very name sends shivers down the spines of offensive lines everywhere. Garrett is not just a player. He is a phenomenon. Known for his relentless pass rushing, his uncanny ability to read plays, and his sheer physical dominance on the edge, Garrett has long been considered one of the premier defensive talents in the league. His arrival in Denver is nothing short of electrifying. The defensive schemes, already solid in some respects, are now poised to reach unprecedented levels of intimidation. Opposing quarterbacks are going to have nightmares just imagining Garrett on the field, and the Broncos' defensive morale is likely to soar as a result. There's a psychological component here that cannot be underestimated. Having a player of Garrett's caliber changes the mentality of an entire squad. Confidence, aggression, and resilience could skyrocket simply because everyone knows that a game-changer is anchoring the front lines. The whispers started subtly at first, almost imperceptibly in the corridors of NFL power. Agents, scouts, and insiders hinted at potential negotiations, but no one dared put it in writing. Then, slowly, the speculation grew louder, fed by cryptic social media posts, images of airport sightings, and a flurry of retweets and comments from seemingly credible sources. Fans began to dream, debate, and speculate, often polarizing in their opinions. Could Love truly thrive under the Broncos system? Was Garrett's signing going to complement or overshadow existing defensive schemes? Social media exploded with reaction videos, memes, and hot takes, all of which contributed to a sense of collective anticipation. By the time ESPN confirmed the news, the story had already achieved viral momentum. But now, with confirmation from a trusted source, the conversation escalated to an entirely new level. Analysts on every major sports network are breaking down the potential scenarios, simulating offensive and defensive matchups, projecting playoff impacts, and speculating on whether this dual acquisition might trigger a ripple effect in the league's next free agency cycle. Imagine the dominoes falling. Teams that were counting on the Broncos to remain in a rebuilding phase might now be scrambling to reevaluate their own strategies, knowing that a major competitor has suddenly acquired top-tier talent at both sides of the ball. The fan reaction, predictably, is nothing short of feverish. Online forums, comment sections, and fan pages are exploding with theories, predictions, and debates. Some are calling it a masterstroke, suggesting that these signings could finally propel Denver back into championship contention. Others, cautious by nature, warn about the risk of investing so heavily in high-profile players, recalling previous seasons where star signings did not translate into team success. Yet, the undercurrent of excitement is undeniable. Tailgates, bars, and social media timelines are buzzing with Broncos jerseys, gifs of epic plays, and speculative highlight reels imagining Love and Garrett dominating their respective positions. This isn't just a story about two players moving teams. It's about hope, reinvention, and a franchise signaling to its supporters that the days of gradual rebuilding might be over. The energy around this move is reminiscent of historical franchise-altering decisions, the kind that leave a lasting imprint not just on a team, but on the league itself. And while skeptics will always exist, questioning fit, chemistry, and longevity, there's no denying the sheer audacity and ambition behind Denver's approach. The Broncos are no longer tiptoeing. They're making a bold, unmistakable statement that they intend to compete at the highest level immediately. Industry insiders are already speculating on how this could impact coaching strategies, player development, and even upcoming draft priorities. With Love as the potential centerpiece of the offense, offensive coordinators are likely scrambling to design schemes that maximize his strengths while protecting against weaknesses that have surfaced in prior seasons. Meanwhile, Garrett's integration into the defensive line is prompting discussions on rotation strategies, complementary signings, and potential shifts in defensive philosophy. Analysts are poring over statistics, past performances, and advanced metrics, trying to predict how these two powerhouses might perform together on a single roster. Will Love's mobility and Garrett's dominance create a synergy that elevates the Broncos beyond what any single acquisition could achieve? The question hangs in the air, tantalizing, and almost impossible to answer definitively at this stage. Yet the excitement is palpable. Rumors about supporting cast additions, surprise trades, and even coaching adjustments are now dominating sports talk shows, podcasts, and YouTube channels, each adding layers to an already electrifying narrative. It is, without question, the kind of story that sports media dreams about. High-profile talent, unexpected moves, and a franchise with history and passion at the center of it all. Even beyond the immediate tactical considerations, there's the cultural impact of these signings. Jordan Love and Myles Garrett are personalities as much as they are athletes, and their presence in Denver could influence team culture, locker room dynamics, and even fan engagement in ways that go far beyond the playing field. Interviews, press conferences, and behind-the-scenes content are expected to dominate social media feeds, giving fans a window into the evolving identity of the Broncos. The franchise has long sought a new image, one of resilience, boldness, and forward momentum. And these acquisitions may provide precisely the kind of narrative fuel needed to craft that identity. Imagine highlight reels paired with viral social media moments, charity events featuring both stars, and marketing campaigns that celebrate not only talent, but also personality. The Broncos are not merely signing players. They are embracing brand ambassadors who can redefine public perception, energize fan engagement, and generate renewed enthusiasm for a franchise with a rich, but sometimes turbulent, history. And let's not overlook the ripple effect on merchandise sales, ticket demand, and even local businesses that thrive on game day excitement. The economic impact, though subtle at first glance, is likely to be significant, further underscoring the magnitude of these moves. And so, as the dust settles on what is arguably one of the most startling announcements of recent memory, the NFL world is left with more questions than answers. How will Jordan Love adapt to his new environment? Can Myles Garrett dominate in a system that may require subtle adjustments to accommodate his style? Will the Broncos roster, coaching staff, and broader organizational structure fully capitalize on this unprecedented opportunity? Only time will tell. But one thing is indisputable. The narrative surrounding Denver, Love, and Garrett has shifted in ways that will reverberate through the league for months, perhaps even years, to come. For fans, analysts, and casual observers alike, the excitement is electric, the speculation endless, and the possibilities virtually limitless. This is a story that refuses to fade quietly into the background. The Denver Broncos have just made a move that will be talked about, analyzed, and debated across every platform imaginable. A move that promises to redefine expectations, challenge assumptions, and inject a level of anticipation that the NFL hasn't felt in quite some time. Jordan Love and Myles Garrett, now united under the orange and blue banner, are poised to leave an indelible mark. Whether that mark will be championship glory or a legendary what if remains to be seen. But the conversation, the excitement, and the sheer spectacle of it all are already unforgettable. And as fans gear up for the season, one thing is crystal clear. Denver is no longer just participating. Denver is shaking the league to its core, and every eye will be on the Broncos to see how this audacious gamble unfolds. The NFL may never be the same. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, give us a like and share with other Broncos fans. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Broncos News Now to stay on top of all the NFL news and analysis.